All right. Hi, everybody. It's Lindsay with a Children's House for the Soul, a community for those with skin conditions. And I am so excited to introduce you to this lovely young lady who is an author and who is a spokesperson and an advocate. And I just cannot wait to get to know her better. This is Anna.
Hi everybody, I'm Anna. I'm 15 years old. I'm Colombia and I suffer from alopecia universalis, as you can see.
And you wear it beautifully. You're rocking the earrings.
Thank you.
I feel like your smile stands out even more. Just gorgeous.
Thank you.
So, okay, actually, can we get started by you found us because you wrote this really cool book. Tell us what had you get started in this writing project and tell us
So
all about it.
in my school we have this international bachelor program and a requirement for my ninth year in Colombia, that is 10th year in the United States, is to create a product for a personal project in order to get my diploma. So I always like to write. And one day I didn't know what to do for my product, and one friend told me, "Why do you don't write a book? You love writing, and you write well." And so yeah, that's basically it.
Well, I am so glad you did. So, I wanted to ask you so that everyone could kind of learn a little bit. So, tell us about your journey with alopecia universalis. When did it start for you? And tell us a little bit about that.
It started very early. I was 4 years old. I started to go to dermatologist. I went to first my normal care center. Then I started to see specialists. I saw two of them that I love with my heart because they are two men that are so beautiful with me and with my family. And when I was in fifth grade, so 4 years ago, I stopped going to to like specialists and stopped taking medicines, and I bought some wigs. Now I have three of them.
That's phenomenal. And I actually have some more questions about wigs for you later because I feel like that's something that you don't get to hear a lot about the journey to finding the right wig and how much it can help. So I'm
Yeah.
excited to talk to you about that. But I wanted to ask you about when you're in your book, you kind of go through explaining alopecia universalis to people who just maybe aren't familiar, which I think is phenomenal. And then you kind of go through some of the different stages. And I loved that you shared about feelings as being a big stage, kind of working through your emotions. And you said one of the things you will ask is, why me? And oh my goodness, Anna, if I don't hear that from every kid and from every mama that I try to help here. So I would love for you to talk about, did you ever kind of come to an answer of why me, and what can you share with other kids?
Alopecia, all I can say is that alopecia universalis, it's like a random thing. Like God took a roulette, started the roulette, and he pointed you. There's not yet an etiology that is the cause. We don't know that cause, and as much like every single autoimmune disease, it's unknown the cause. It can be genes or it can be stress or emotion. We don't know yet. But I mean, if you think about stress, I don't think it's too related. Maybe to alopecia areata, that is another kind of alopecia that develops thanks to this stress. But imagine a 4 year old. What can be the stress of a 4 year old? They don't, I don't know, buy them a popsicle. Uh, so yeah, um, a doctor here came to the conclusion that it can be gene related, and some people can have the gene but like at some point like not having activated. So my parents can have that gene but they didn't develop it, and I can have that gene and develop it. Maybe my sons or daughters can have the gene but not have been activated. But yeah, there's no cause or relation with anything. All I can say for me for example, to kids is it's something that, like, people have cancer. Everyone of us has cancerous cells, but some of them develop in different parts of the body. In this case, it's the same, but with the hair. You develop that gene. For kids, all I can say is that don't worry, hair. I mean, it's that much, but at least you are healthy. That is something I found as as good, and it's a beautiful journey. And you are different. You're outstanding of all the rest people. And for moms, it's not your fault. Like a week, sorry, a week ago, I started to talk to my mom about this and all the book, and she told me that at first she thought like, why did I do wrong? Maybe in the pregnancy, or did I take something I wasn't supposed? But no, it's not your fault. It's something that just it's sorted. You can know.
You are so right. And I think that's one of the hardest questions, especially that teenagers, I think, or maybe a little bit teenagers and preteens struggle with is why me? And you're right, there really is no perfect answer, but it's just about going through the journey, it sounds like, that you've discovered.
Yes.
I love that you were reassuring your mom too. I actually took notes about that you had a whole section that I thought was so intuitive and beautiful about you said your parents are going to start going through all the emotions and have all the questions that you had. And I just wanted to ask you, so, you were going through something yourself. How
Yeah.
did you see this happen in your parents? And it sounds like you worked to come alongside them. I think that's so powerful. Tell me about that.
So I couldn't see at first. I was like self-centered, like everyone. I mean, something happens to you, you're like me, and why me? But you never know what the other ones around you feel, and that's something I started to think about when I started to write my book, because also my parents helped me in this process. They told me, I asked them, what would you want it to someone tell you at the beginning?
Mm,
So they told me I wanted answers. I wanted to know. Yeah, I imagine I didn't really ask them, but I know like how they were feeling.
yeah, I just thought that was really that demonstrated a lot about you, Anna, and who you are, that you recognize that your parents were struggling with it too. And you even, I'm not quoting you directly exactly, but you said something like, it's just because they love you so much. And I just thought that showed a lot of just intuition and emotional intelligence, because you're right, it would be so easy to focus inward. And I think natural, like you said, and I couldn't blame anybody, but I thought that that was really powerful.
Yeah.
So, let's see. So, actually, you kind of talk about this in a little bit different parts of your book, but I thought this was really fascinating. You talked about going through the corticosteroids. You talked about going through some different treatments. And one of our friends with alopecia areata, her mom says if the treatment is worse than the diagnosis or is worse than what you're going through, then you might want to, she says, why do it? And there are all different reasons to pursue treatment or not, but tell us about your experience with kind of figuring that out.
So at first, when I was a child, and I didn't completely understand what was treatment or the secondary effects that it gave me. I knew that my doctors are like, we have to be careful with this or with that because this and that can happen. But I didn't understand. I mean, I was a kid. So in this, starting in my project, I had to do a research like phase. In that, I discover all the things that can be the second effects for that treatment, and I found like what happened to me, it was a second effect. And yeah, that what that mom thinks is something I thought 4 years ago when I started to leave treatment, because I this didn't feel okay. I mean, when a secondary effect of the corticoids are inflammation in the face. And when I was in third grade, we have this like this religious thing, and they took me photos, and then I went back to that photos, and I was like a, a lollipop. Like my face was huge, and I was like, no, why accept that? But I also respect people who start with this journey. They want answers, and sometimes the treatment really works and they regrow hair. It's a little percentage, but it's a little bit of hope. But I mean, if you want to quit treatment, it's not your fault that it didn't uh, do something to you, or that it didn't work. And it's okay either of the both solutions.
I love that. I feel like your perspective is you have to kind of go through on your own and decide what matters most to you. And either way is not giving up, and either way is not right or wrong. They're both, you have to do what works for you.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, I love that, Anna. Oh my goodness. So let's see. I want to, you say so many good things. I want to make sure that I capture them all. So one of the things you talked about, I might go out of order a little bit, but one of the things, well, actually, no, I'm going to go in order. So you talk about some things that help, your tips. And that was one of, actually, I loved all the sections, but that was one of my favorite sections. And your tips, to really simplify them, were number one, to talk, number two, to learn about alopecia universalis, number three, to accept the inevitable, and number four, to set boundaries. So kind of going through each of those, tell me about talking. I feel like I encounter a lot of kids and teenagers who feel like if they talk about it, it makes it more real, or they don't want to talk. Tell me about that.
Yeah, I mean, talking, it's difficult. I personally don't like to talk to my parents like, oh, I'm feeling this, I feel so sad. I don't like it. I'm like, no, no. But I think that's a feeling that almost all teenagers have. But talking about it is externalizing only feeling the inside, and that will help overcome all the emotional impact this brings to you. Either if you talk with your parents, or with your grandma, or with, I don't know, maybe the school psychologist, someone that can hear and maybe not give you advice. I mean, you're the only one that has this journey, but sometimes, I don't know, maybe just help pass through it. Um, that's an important thing.
Who did you talk with that you feel like helped you the most?
Mm. I first had a psychologist. They helped me at some point. I talk to my parents sometimes, to my friends, and I really, when I meet someone new, I really like to tell them at first, like, "Hi, I'm Anna Maria." I always like, "Hi, Anna Maria," and I have alopecia, like, because some things will happen. I don't know, maybe your wig fall off, and somebody will tell them. And if they have questions, I answer them, and that helps everybody. It helps you, and it helps the other ones to understand.
I love that. What is something that your friends have done for you, your friends who have listened and been there for you? What is something that has been the most helpful?
The most helpful they've done, it's like when my week, for example, I'm doing a dance at school, and I don't know, I have to do something crazy, like, yeah, like a gymnastic thing, and they're like, oh, be careful, you can't do it. I'm like, yeah, I can do it, but if something happens, I don't know, come here and take the week off with you. And they always there, and they help me, like, making jokes, like I make a fun of everything, because, for example, they're like, oh, I'm so hairy, I need to wax because, I don't know, I have to wear a dress tomorrow. I am like, I don't know, I don't need that, and that helps me joke about it.
I love that. That's so good to have a sense of humor. That's so much fun. And it gets to show off your beautiful smile. I think something you said was really important. I think a lot of teenagers are afraid to say the wrong thing to their friend or to hurt their friend's feeling. And so sometimes they even create a distance when their friends are going through a challenge. But you're saying, you know what, just be there, be the way you always have been, and that's the way to be a friend.
Exactly. I mean, you sometimes you can't hurt their feelings, but if you are really there, they know that it's not an intentional thing.
Mm.
That's the best you can do.
Oh, I love that. That's so good. Okay, so tell me about two. You said number two of your tips was learn about it. And we have in our community, we have kids with alopecia universalis, but all different kinds of skin conditions. How did you go about learning about your alopecia universalis, and what would you tell kids that are working to find out?
I tell them use resources that are credible because there is a lot of
Mm,
fake information.
that's so
You,
good.
for example, I don't know, PDFs of doctors mostly, and if you have friends or someone with alopecia, ask them because also the patient view is important. It's something
Mm,
that doctors can give you. They can tell you all about what is it, how it happens, but they can tell you, oh, you might feel this, oh, it might be this way. Another tip for searching is, I don't know, ask if you're going to a doctor, ask them. My parents didn't understand fully my condition at first until they went to one dermatologist and he was like, okay, what do you know? And they didn't know anything. So he took his time, make a presentation, and explain them by part.
mm.
They tried to resume it to me, but I mean, I was like 5 years old, so I was like, what are you telling? And then when I grew older, I was, well, what is this? And then I started to search, and well, this book came. Maybe you can write a book after you search. We don't know.
I love that. Um, I love that you said ask your doctor. I think some kids and teenagers are afraid to ask their doctor.
Yeah, I personally, I was at the beginning, I was like too shy, like, what is this man going to think? Oh, she's an idiot, or something like, or oh, this a kid, they won't understand. But most doctors are kind, and they love their patients, like individually, so they'll tell you all about it.
Oh, I love that. I love that. You mentioned try to find someone with alopecia universalis or someone. How did you have you met any other kids or people, and how did you find them, and how do you find new people like that and stay safe?
In Unfortunately, I haven't met anyone with my condition after this like part, but like face to face. But sometimes seeing people in social media, for example, I was one day scrolling through TikTok, and I found this bald girl, and every time, contrary of what people think, when I see bald, I don't think cancer, I think alopecia. So I was like, let me get to the link, and I saw them, and I was so happy because they were so beautiful girls. And in this journey of making my book, I contact with two people. They're older than me. One is called Sheridan. She directs the Australian Alopecia Foundation, and she connect me with another Anna from here from Colombia in Medellin. um, and yeah, I love how women started to empower this movement. So that made me feel close to them.
That's really cool. And then when we are offline, I'm going to email you. Or I'm going to try and connect you on Instagram to one of my friends.
Oh,
um, she's a little bit older than you, but she's young.
oh,
She's very cool. um, okay, I love that. So then here's one. This one's a big one. You say accept the inevitable. Tell us what
yeah,
you mean by that, and tell us how did you do it?
it's a journey. You're not going to like instantaneously. It's inevitable. Sorry. Yeah, but you can like stop it. It's something that will happen. Your health will continue to fall off. I don't know, you can't do anything about it. So it's better to accept it than to deny it. Like, I don't know, maybe put in hats or try to hide it. why just not accept it? That will make the process easier. Personally, I like, since I have memory, I didn't have hair, so it wasn't that much of a problem because I was very little. And like when I think to the past, I just think that like I didn't have hair like the whole my whole life. So, but when I was a teen, I started to grow and be a teenager. I mean, I am a teenager now, but later when I was, and all these girls with their beautiful hair, and at that time, girls are so invested in their physical appearance, like in hair. So I was like, what happened here? What happened to me? So I started to go to a psychologist. Yeah, and I went to my mirror and like, I'm beautiful how I am. That's it.
Oh, I love that. So you started talking to yourself differently when you looked in the mirror. Yeah. I feel like that's a very strong message in your book is how powerful your thoughts are.
Yeah, they can self-destroy you if you let them.
Yes, yes. If you continue to talk to yourself a certain way. And I love that's a balanced message in your book too, because you talk about that it's natural and it's okay to feel angry and feel sad and feel scared, but also that you have this power to talk to yourself differently. I think that's a beautiful, balanced message, Anna Maria.
Thank you.
So good, so good. Okay, talk to me about setting boundaries. And I think this might be a good segue into talking about wigs a little bit after that. But you were talking about, you have to kind of decide for yourself. How did you do that? And how did you approach your parents when you wanted to stop with certain treatments?
So my parents are the most comprehensive people in this world. They like, oh, I want this. They get it. I don't want to do this. They don't do it.
Oh.
But yeah, set boundaries. It's important because as much as they are in this journey, it's not theirs.
Mm.
And so I had this feeling like, oh, I'm gonna let them fall if I stop treatment.
Mm-hmm.
But then I thought, it's it's in their hair, it's in their body. Why let them stop? Why not stop doing this that I don't feel okay doing? So yeah, that's basically. So I tell them like one day, I'm like, I don't like treatment, and it's not working. I don't want it, and they stop. They're like, okay, we can solve the next time we go. Yeah, but it's important to do it in a good way. Like not do it like, I don't know, like screaming or very angry, like, oh, you don't let me. And you need to talk and give them reasons. I mean, I'm a person that always wants good reasons, for example. So you can give them reasons, and their reasons can be your feelings, like, oh, I don't want to do it because I don't know, I don't feel okay, or yes, I want to continue even though I have these effects because I want. I don't know. It makes me feel better. So yeah,
I love that. You gave them reasons and you just saw it through with them. And then it sounds like you said they are so good about listening to you and letting you be a partner.
yeah,
Yeah, that's so good. So in your book, a lot of times I don't know that dermatologists or physicians even very often bring up wigs to their patients. And it sounds like you came upon it with, I think you said your aunt. Um,
yeah.
Yeah, or your uncle. So tell us about how you decided and sort of what that was like. And then tell us about when you wear your wigs and when you don't, if you don't mind.
Yeah. So I first, I thought in the past, but I didn't like tell to my parents like, oh, I want to wait, find someone. So my aunt that passed away, she had cancer, and she found these incredible persons, people here in Colombia that are one of the few that make wigs. And she took me there because she was like, okay, I'm gonna be bold. I don't want to be bold alone. So she took me there and she was like, you're the person for the job. So she get out this, and when she was like trying wigs, um, one person of them that is called John, that is one of the twin brothers. Um, they he came to me and started to, I don't know, make try wigs. And then the day I came home to my parents and I was like, I want a wig. I need it because I always liked hair, even though I don't have it. So, for example, I love to, I don't know, cut my hair still and style it. So they bought me a wig. Eventually, I have three of them. It grow. I hoping for more. And yeah, having a wig, I mean, it's difficult because at the beginning you feel like you're hiding something, like you're an imposter or something. But then you tell to yourself, they don't know, they don't notice. Like really, people tell me like, one day I was at school and this teacher is like, "Oh, I love the color of your hair is natural," and my friend look at me like, "It like what are you going to say? I mean, it's natural hair, but it isn't you." And I go like, "Yeah, yeah, yeah, it's natural," and then we laugh all the races about it. So yeah, that's basically it. What I recommend to people that are buying a wig is search for the best you can give you. Of course, they are people that are trying to, I don't know, kind of take advantage of that vulnerable. So take the best, but like use like search for everything. Um, search for the best is the only thing I could say. And for doctors, I mean, they try to. I don't think they don't bring this up because I don't know, they don't want to lose their patients, but maybe just because they don't think about it. But yeah, but it's also something you need to know that you can combine the wigs and the treatment because
Hmm.
I think some people are like, well, I have the wig and I want to have treatment, but I can have both. Yeah, you can have both. I mean, sometimes if you grow hair, that could be uncomfortable, because yeah, the wigs I don't need for that.
Yeah, Anna Maria, that's a really good point. I think some people think that getting a wig would feel like giving up, like they have to give up their medicine. And I think that's a really smart point.
Yeah, for I bought a wig and I went to my appointment sometimes like a year, and the doctor was totally okay with that, and he was happy for me. He was like, "Oh, I love it. I love your wig." And yeah, that's basically it.
Oh, that's so good. That's so good. How do you decide when to wear your wig and when not to? Is it just kind of like a style thing, like your clothes every day, or?
Um, first, I mean, first I had these things that were like bandanas, but it's strange. So they were made up for me, and someone here in Colombia bring that style up, and I wear that from when I was little to a fifth grade. In fifth grade, I used a wig one day. I used the bandana one time. Now I mostly use it. Well, now I don't use it only for class. The rest I'm like, I don't need this. Thank you next. But yeah, it's how I feel basically. For Christmas, for example, I was I had an outfit and everything for the Christmas Eve. Um, I look at my wig and was like, nah. And I didn't took it, and my mom was like, "You didn't took the wig?" And I'm like, "No, why? I mean, no, why?" That yeah,
Thank you for sharing that. I love hearing these different stories, and just I think it helps girls especially, but guys too who are dealing with hair loss. It helps them to sort of decide what they might do and what their journey might look like. So, thank you. Oh my goodness. Okay. In the book, you share about the monster in the mirror. We talked about this a little bit, but I just want to bring it up one more time because you were so beautiful in the way you sort of explained everything. You said in the beginning there's anger and fear. What would you say to someone who's in the middle of that battle? they're just starting out their battle with the monster in the mirror?
I don't know what I can say to them. Like, it's something you need to pass. There is no like second chance or second path or a shortcut. It's something you need to pass. It's like grief. I
Mm,
compare it a little bit to grief, because when someone dies, you feel sad because they died. Then you feel anger to, I don't know, maybe if you believe in God, anger to God because they take me onto the destiny, or I don't know, the universe. But yeah, so it's the same thing. It's something you need to pass in order to continue your journey. And it's natural, it's human.
Ana Maria, that's you're so right. You're just so right. And I think what would you say? I think a lot of parents want to step in and take that away. They want to take it away from their kids, but can they?
No, they can't. They can't do it. They don't want to do it because it's a natural process. It's a natural thing. It's psychologically correct, I think. It's something you need to do. And I know having someone suffering is it's horrible, but it's something you need to do, and you can't step in that moment specifically.
But I think that's really beautiful. But I think part of your message is that there is another side once
Yeah,
you go through the path.
yeah, there's always a brighter side, a bright end of the tunnel of dark. And at every like, ¿cómo se decía? There is this thing they say that is every time after every storm there is a rainbow, and that's true. And it's normal in life. It always happen. It's always happening, and that sort. Imagine like being happy all the time. That will be so no, like no, because everyone will be happy all the time. They'll bad things have to happen, and that's what makes bad things is what makes good things, and the opposite, and it's a balance.
Mm. You said, I wrote down your quote, and I think you said that this is what you start to say to yourself in the mirror. Believe that you are beautiful and that
Yes.
being unique is wonderful. And when you do that, your worst enemy becomes your ally.
Hmm.
Oh, that's profound, girl. That's good stuff. I don't know. I don't even have a question. It's just so good.
Thank you.
I love it. Your worst enemy becomes your ally. Oh, that's gorgeous. So I guess the last thing I wanted to ask you about that I haven't really mentioned yet is you say that one of the things that you feel like is most important is teaching others. And you say now when you meet somebody new, you share.
Yeah.
Um, what would you say to kids who are maybe ready to start that, but they're nervous? How would you encourage them?
If people don't like it, well, it's their loss.
I love it.
That's all I can say. I mean, people judge. Even if you do good, even if you do bad, they judge. They will always judge. All you can do is be yourself.
I love that. And it sounds like you have made some really good friends and you have some awesome people in your life that you have found by being yourself.
Yeah.
Ah, that's so cool. Sorry, there we go. Our phone system went off there for a second. Um, I wanted to ask before you go, are you planning on publishing your book? Is there a way people can find it or find
I,
you?
I'm hoping to publish. I'm making all the things of author rights here in Colombia. I'm planning on as a Colombian. I'm pretty proud of being a Latina, and I'm planning on publish it in English. That is my second language, and on Spanish. My dad has some friends and some contacts that are planning to help me with that. By now there is not published, but I mean, if you want to read it, for me it's better. I have Instagram, that is Annie, ALANY lower cosito, like space in Instagram, m.triana. Maybe I can, no, I don't know, pass the contact to you.
Yes,
Uh,
I will, and I'll put you, yes, I'll follow you and I'll share your handle with everybody.
yeah, yeah, but yes, there was, I haven't published the book yet. I hope so. I'm looking forward to it.
It's There are so many good things in there that people need to read. So I can't wait. And make sure, outside of our interview, make sure you let us know when it's available for publishing, because I will shout it to the rooftops. I will let all the people know.
Thank you.
Well, before, I know I've kept you for a really long time, but before I let you go, is there anything I didn't ask you about that you want to share?
Mm, maybe it could be to grow the community and the awareness. I think it's something we need to do, and it's something we need to, yeah, we need to do it because people are just there like feeling alone. Like when I started with alopecia, like, yeah, I'm the only one in this huge world
Mhm.
that have it. But then I meet persons, I see them on social media. So grow the community. I think we could do huge things if we grow this community as much as we can.
I love that. Yes. Let's let's do it. Let's get everybody together, get everyone meeting each other and sharing these beautiful stories.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Thank you so much, Anna Maria. I
Thank
am so pleased to share your story with everyone.
thank you. I mean, this book took me to ways I didn't imagine it will come, and like freaking out. Um, because I'm too young. I know, and like I'm 15, and this was a personal project that was, I saw it like a little thing, but well, it became huge and it started to grow. And I hope I can help persons with it.
I think even I think even if you never hear, which I am certain you will, I know that this will reach people. I know your message will help someone. I am positive. And you have, as someone who wants to help people who hasn't personally experienced it, you have given me so much wisdom that I can use. And you've given me someone to reach out to when I need a question. So I am so grateful for you. Thank you so, so much.
Thanks to you.
Okay, I am going to stop recording, maybe. Oh, there it is.